Hello everyone, welcome to this video where I am going to explore your subconscious mind so that you can discover what it means to dream of vampires. Those beings that live in darkness, that feed on the blood of others. That is to say, of its vital energy. In the background, the vampire symbolizes an erotic type figure. You want to surrender to him even though you know that by doing so, you are risking your own life. Because it is something that you cannot avoid. Because the desire to satisfy your physical passion simply overwhelms you. That's what we are going to be talking about here. But before going into the analysis, in case you don't know me, let me introduce myself. My name is Robert. I am a psychoanalyst with more than 30 years of experience, and in case you want to have psychoanalysis session with me, or in case you want the psychoanalysis of one of your dreams, just send me an email to the one that I am going to leave you here below in the description of this video, so I can tell you how you can join my consultation. Now, back to what it means to dream of vampires. This is a very important dream because from the outset, it is revealing that you are going through a phase of your life of transformation, in which you want to change a part of your being, which in turn makes you feel tremendously guilty. Because here we talk about the fact that what you really want is to awaken your own sensuality. For what? To take the lives of others. Of course, in a figurative sense. You want to have greater influence on the people around you, but your intelligence or your talent is no longer enough. This figure reveals that you have reached a point where you want to use that dormant sensuality to control others, which in any case is a totally natural process. At some point, we all want to use our attractiveness to get what we want out of life. And those are the energies that at this moment are in conflict with your psyche. And that is why it is likely that you are experiencing frustration, anxiety, or anguish precisely in the moments when your sensuality, your erotism, is struggling to come out. Because as I was saying at the beginning of this video, that also makes you feel very guilty. Because in all probability, you come from an environment when erotism, passion, and desire is not seen as something very positive to say. But the point is that you have a natural appeal, a sensuality that comes with you, and that is just coming out. And that is why you have realized that when you use it, you manage to obtain things from the material world, and even in the context of your interpersonal relationships. But this in turn makes it difficult for you to deal with guilt, because a part of your psyche leads you to think that what you do, that is the use of your sensuality for, is something bad, because it involves erotizing yourself. So, if you think about it, it is no coincidence that in this particular dream, the people who have it usually see the vampire first from afar, beating someone, possessing him or her, and therefore feeding on his blood. That is to say about someone else's life. And that's why if you get to have this dream, your first instinct will be to run away from the vampire so as not to lose your life. But then, at one point, you are going to get caught or trapped by it. Since when you see the vampire up close, you won't be able to help but wish for him to take you over. Let him take your body, your blood, your everything. And this is explained because the beauty of the vampire, whether in the female or male version of him, at one point is simply going to overtake you. Which is very interesting if you think that there is going to come a moment in the dream in which you will no longer see that being as a vampire, even if it is, which is something very similar to what happened to Mina Harker in Dracula. You are going to try to give the vampire some human characteristics. You are going to try to think that he has some goodness, when in reality, you know very well that you are being attracted by a being that all he wants is to consume you, to take over your body in order to take your vital energy. And that is why, in general, people who have this dream wake up when they are being beaten. That is to say, the precise moment in which they are losing their lives within the framework of the dream to recover it in the real world. And here is the key for this whole thing, the explanation of why you are having this dream. Because as I was saying, you have reached a moment in your life where you want to die, to change. The vampire comes to be an expression of your own desire to use erotism, attraction, sensuality to your own advantage. Because for many years, you have felt that it is you who falls under the influence of the beauty of others. Fundamentally, because you did not dare to express it. But now, that part of your psyche has just begun to struggle to get out. Because your conscious has been in charge for many years of repressing that part of your being, because it was what in your childhood and youth allowed you to adapt to the different environments in which you lived. And that is the energy that we need to release, redirect, and interconnect with your conscious self, so that your mind can reach its full development. Because the vampire dream reveals that the part of your sensuality has simply been repressed for many years and therefore has not developed as it should have, because you grew up in an environment where you were forced to repress that aspect of your being. Deep down, you are an adult who does not know how to use his sensuality, or at least you don't know how to use it, even if you want to, because it is an essential part of all people, without this generating a great sense of guilt. And that is why, as I pointed out, the vampire symbolizes a state of your psyche that wants to emerge, but that simply cannot for the moment. Although, as I always point out, this is not a process that is taking place only in the present, but in the fact that for many years a complex has been produced that is a nodule in your psyche which was preventing that psychic energy, or libido, could not circulate freely, which is what explains why you are somatizing the frustration you feel about it for not being able to express your sensuality or erotism without guilt, precisely through anguish, anxiety, or depression. Of course, in your childhood and youth, that was not so much of a problem for you. But now that you are an adult, it does get complicated because you are living with a frame of mind that has not fully developed. Now, all of this suggests that you grew up in an environment where erotism, sensuality, was seen as something too negative. Your parents hid that aspect of your life, and that every time your sensuality struggled to come out, of course, it was going to be repressed. This certainly happened at the time when you reached your adolescence, when you started exploring how to get more beautiful. Maybe you wanted to put on makeup in such a way, to dress in a different way, because you genuinely wanted to feel more attractive. And why not to say, you wanted to get attention from members of the opposite sex. Not even because you wanted to be with all those people, but simply for a matter of personal value, to feel good about yourself. And in that process, it is likely that one of your parents, or both of them, made fun of you because he had his own complexes, or they told you things to make you repress your sensuality because they bothered you to grow up, too mature, deep down, to abandon them. I am going to tell you that this is a more common case than it might seem. Well, and that caused that with the passing of the years, you associated your sensuality with something negative. It must be understood that this repression process did not occur just once, but was constant, as much on the part of your parents as of your brothers, uncles, or even grandparents sometimes have a say in making this happen. The problem is that, as I was saying, you have reached a point in your life where your sensuality or eroticism simply cannot be repressed anymore. Because now that you are an adult, your desire to express that part of your being is much greater than the repressive part that may exist in your conscious self. As you can see, this is a much more complex dream than it might seem. So you have to pay close attention in case you see in a dream in the company of a vampire. For the same reason, you already know that if you want me to psychoanalyze some of your dreams or have therapy sessions with me, just send me an email to the one that I leave you below so that I can tell you the way in which you can integrate to my consultation. And please do not forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video if it helped you in any way, and share it so that others can access to this kind of knowledge. Have a wonderful day, and with it, the most beautiful dreams. Bye!